Ever catch yourself saying, while you're thinking through something, or like letting out this huge sigh when something stressful is finally over?
Totally.
And we never really think about it.
Yeah.
But all those little sounds we make, they're actually saying something. It's like a whole secret language, you know?
Yeah. All those hmms and uh-uhs, and even those little clicks and
little tick sounds, all those things.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was reading some research about this, actually. Send it over to you as well. And, well, let me tell you, it's made me hyper aware of every little peep and squeak that's come out of my mouth since.
It's true. It's like there's this whole other conversation happening under the surface.
Exactly.
So think about when you're trying to remember something, what happens?
I get flustered. No, I mean...
You might say, or err.
Total.
Research actually indicates that those little hesitation sounds, they aren't just filler words. They're actually crucial for our brains to function, giving us a moment to process information, like a little pause button for your brain.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. It's giving my brain a second to catch up with my mouth for once.
Exactly. It is buying time. And there's actually research that shows that people, they tend to use more ums when they're not sure about what they're saying, or if they're holding back a thought.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a little signal to whoever's listening that something else is going on.
Yeah.
So, next time you're in a negotiation, pay attention to those ums. You might learn something.
Wow. See, I never thought of it that way. Makes you wonder, though, are we choosing to make these sounds, or are they just totally instinctive?
It's probably a mix of both.
Uh-huh.
Like, we might consciously use to hold our turn in the conversation, but how often we use it, where it pops up, that often just happens. Our brains are fascinating. It's like these sounds are a bridge between what we're thinking and what we're actually saying out loud.
That is really wild when you think about it. It's like we're accidentally letting people in on our thought process. But it's not all ums and errs, is it? Like, what about those moments when it all clicks, when you're like, aha,
Yeah.
that's it?
The aha moments. Those are interesting because it's not just the speaker who benefits.
Really?
Yeah, a 2015 study found that when people hear someone have an aha moment, often with an ooh or a gasp, they actually unconsciously mirror those sounds.
Oh, wow.
And they use those sounds as cues to help them understand when a speaker is going from confusion to understanding.
Yeah.
Like a shared experience of getting it.
That is so cool. I've totally caught myself doing that before. And, it's funny because it really does work. As soon as I hear that, even if I'm the one who's confused, it's like, all right, we're on the same page now.
Yeah, we're hardwired for it, even if we don't realize it.
And it's not just about thinking either. Sounds are huge for how we agree or disagree with each other.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like that little sound when you're nodding along. It's like a little way of saying, yeah, I'm with you.
Exactly. It shows you're engaged, that you're listening and understanding. But then there's the flip side. The sounds we make when we don't agree. And few sounds say, I disagree, quite like a good tsk.
Oh, the tsk. That one little sound can say so much. Disapproval, a little bit of attitude.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe even a little, I told you so,
Yeah.
and not a single word. And speaking of which, this reminds me of something I heard from the Finnish comedian Ismo Leikola.
You mean the ta-ta-ta-ta?
Yes.
It's a great example. He talks about how that one sound, with just a simple shift in intonation, can mean anything from that's enough to stop right there.
Yeah. We've actually got that clip. Let's take a listen.
You have now poured enough coffee into my cup, and it goes like
You must know this. The meaning of the meaning is that you have now poured enough coffee into my cup. And then it goes da-da-da-da-da-da, with slowing and lowering voice until whispered. I didn't know about that. I mean, it's so good. I really enjoyed that work. It's so great.
Oh my God, that's amazing. The way he acts it out is just too perfect. I can totally see myself totally missing that cue. We've talked a lot about sounds we make when we're thinking and like social cues. But what about when we're feeling strong emotions?
Totally. Emotions are huge. Think about when you finish a super tough workout.
Oh, yeah.
You just let out this deep sigh, right?
Yeah.
You're not even really choosing to do it. It's just your body's way of saying, I'm done.
It's like a universal sign for I am completely drained. No translation needed. What about when you're putting in a ton of effort, like lifting something heavy?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You let out that oof sound, right? And it's not just about the physical effort either. Studies have shown that making those sounds can actually help us breathe better and even perform better physically.
Get out. So there's actually a benefit to grunting at the gym. I'm telling my workout buddy that.
Yeah.
But what about those sounds that are less about like physical effort and more about reacting to the world around us? Like when something is just truly disgusting, like that ew sound that just comes out before you can even stop it.
Exactly. It's almost like our brains are wired to just express disgust like that. Maybe as a way to like warn others about something harmful.
It's like a built-in alarm system, but for gross stuff. Which actually brings us to another fascinating way we use sound to communicate. Onomatopoeia. It's amazing how we try to capture those sounds from the world around us, with words like buzz, splash, even meow.
It's like we're building a bridge between sound and language, creating a richer experience for whoever's listening.
Precisely. Onomatopoeic words, they help us paint a more vivid picture, bringing our stories and descriptions to life in a way that just describing something can't quite do.
And it's not just about, copying sounds from nature either. We have onomatopoeic words for actions too, like click, thud, crash.
Absolutely. And those words, they add this sense of immediacy, this impact. It pulls the listener right into the moment, makes the experience more real.
It really shows you how deeply connected sound and language really are. But, while we're talking about sound, we can't forget about silence.
You're so right. Silence is often overlooked, but it plays a huge role in shaping our conversations.
Yeah, we talked about how a well-placed pause can give someone time to think or emphasize a point. But silence, it can also communicate emotions, like discomfort, disagreement, even anger.
Exactly. Silence depends a lot on the situation. Like a comfortable silence between close friends, that says something about their connection, their shared understanding. But a tense silence after a fight, man, that's loaded with unspoken tension.
It's like silence becomes its own language, carrying its own weight, its own meaning, depending on what's going on.
Exactly. And being a good listener, it means paying attention not just to the sounds people make, but also to those moments when they don't make a sound. Those silences, they can tell you just as much, if not more, about what someone's thinking or feeling.
It's like we're expanding what communication even means. It's not just the sounds, but also those spaces between the sounds.
Exactly. It's about recognizing all those little sonic cues we use, from the tiniest sigh to the heaviest silence. They all shape how we interact.
And the more we pay attention to these nuances, the better we understand each other, right? But it makes you wonder, with AI getting so advanced, can it ever really grasp this stuff, especially how tied it is to human emotion and cultural context?
That's a big question researchers are wrestling with right now. I mean, AI has gotten really good at mimicking human speech, but capturing the full nuance of these nonverbal sounds, especially the ones tied to our emotions, that's still a huge challenge.
So you're saying my smart speaker can tell me the weather and set a timer, but it's not going to be laughing at my jokes anytime soon?
Not quite yet. AI can make sounds that sound like laughter or gasps, but it just doesn't have that natural, spontaneous feel. It's just not genuine.
Like the difference between a laugh track and real laughter. The AI might sound right, but it doesn't have that human touch.
Exactly. That's what AI still needs to figure out. To really replicate human expression, verbal and nonverbal, it needs to understand not just how we make sounds, but the emotions behind them, the cultural context, even those unspoken social rules we have.
It's like these nonverbal sounds are the final frontier for AI, proof of just how complex and rich human communication really is.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Mastering these nuances, it's not about just making the right sounds. It's about timing, intonation, adapting to the conversation. All those things contribute to that human connection that AI is still trying to crack. So as we're wrapping up here, is there like one big takeaway you hope our listeners will kind of walk away with?
I think more than anything, I just hope this has inspired everyone to listen more closely, not just to the words themselves, but to all those other sounds that surround them, the sighs, the laughs, the ta-ta-ta-tas, all of it.
It's like you said, we need to really pay attention to the nuances.
100%. It's this whole other world of communication we can tap into, one and aha at a time.
This deep dive has been incredible. I know I'm going to be listening to the world differently now, that's for sure. For everyone listening out there, pay attention to those sounds, the ones you make A&D, the ones you hear. You might be surprised. Until next time, keep exploring, keep listening, and most importantly, keep the conversation going.